Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. Thank you so much for the wonderful, wonderful comments. And I'm glad you're enjoying and learning. And I always want to be inspiring and, well, push the boundaries. And today I'm pushing you over another edge. Um, this message may be very advanced for some, but I'm going to ask you to try to keep an open mind because, once again, there's a good likelihood that something in your heart will vibrate, or this will simply be a form to help you pull in, expand your mind, and really start to understand how much more you are. But also, now that we've moved through that old crumbling matrix, you are becoming your own creator if you chose the higher dimensional worlds. And you can do so at any time. So I'm going to share a couple stories and then try to help you understand how to build your own toroidal light body so that it works for you in all different ways. Because we are evolving, we are changing, we are becoming these homo luminous that I speak about, and we are letting go of so much material, old ancestral ties, old things. So let me start with a couple little funny stories. A couple days ago, when I went to do one of the recordings, I was looking up, and what happens now, I can see to the outside where I am right at this moment. And the ships, okay, some people call them clouds. You can tell the difference between a cloud and a ship once you start to vibrate at a different level. So whenever I'm about to go on, all of a sudden the ships just start coming in, and there's clouds, quote, ships everywhere. And the day that I was trying to record, I couldn't get an internet connection. And I was joking, going, uh-oh, they are just not sure what's going to come out of my mouth next. So I stepped outside because no matter how many times I tried, I turned off the computer, turned on the computer, checked the connections, did everything I could, and I couldn't get a signal. So I just walked outside. I looked up and I said, okay, guys, give me a connection if you want to hear what's going to come out of my mouth. And don't forget, we're all connected. So it may sound freaky, but of course they're reading your mind. Of course they understand what's going on, and they're here to help if you ask through your free will. And again, I'm encouraging everybody to ask. They are here to help. So I walked inside, and of course, I had a great internet connection and was able to do the things I wanted to do. We are getting more and more power. That is the point. And we are getting more and more connections. Now, the strange thing is, with all these energies coming in, and with the Schumann blackouts, and with so much going on, we often are left with this crazy feeling of, well, where am I? I don't know what's going on. And every time there's a Schumann blackout, and this is just my personal experience, yours may be totally different, and it's okay. I am simply sharing to let you know that we can now start talking about these things. We are not delusional. So when blackouts happen on Schumann, what happens is I start to feel something first. And it's like a lost feeling. It's like, why am I doing this? And what's going on? And I don't know. I just don't feel like this is right or something's going on. And one time during that feeling, when I went and popped online and I saw, oh, we're in a Schumann blackout, I started to test if that feeling literally came up every time we blacked out. And it did. And one day, the words came to me, clean slate. Let it go. And so now, whenever I'm in one of those phases, and we do have the blackout, then I'm just like, oh, clean slate, clean slate. Okay, so let me use my intention, let me use my strength, my ability, and really just let go of those things that no longer serve me and really, really manifest and think about the things that I want in my world. What would I like in my world? Who would I like to be with? Loving, unconditionally loving individuals who just want to help and have fun and be there for others. Play some music, dance, feel free, freedom. Be free to be your crazy, wild, authentic self, caring for those and the grounds and beings around you. Now, a few months ago, I had gotten the messages because out of the blue, I was noticing once again how few cars and people there were. And over the last few years, I've been like, wow, did I actually wake up on this planet? Where am I? And then I'm like, nobody's around. This is like a holiday weekend and nobody's here. What's going on? Am I on this planet? And starting a while back, I kept hearing, no, you're not on that planet. And I was like, no. Obviously, I shut that down right away because what's the point of being here if I'm not on the planet? Made no sense to me. So it's taken me some time to adjust to this concept. And I'm hoping that my adjustment and what I've seen can help others who may be struggling with the same thing. Maybe you got it right away, and congratulations to you. But understand, and this I have said for a very long time, that there is not just one Earth. After the lockdown, up until especially, I think it's 12/21/21, other Earth planets were brought in. And I know this is so hard to understand. I spoke about it in another video. And those who chose to stay in the 3D world, the transport started to those others. People were literally brought there. Some people have experienced with close family members, walk-ins have come in. All of a sudden, there's these huge changes of personalities. Many for the better. Many, it's time for you just to walk away. Nothing is going to change. Let it go. Now, we are at a monumental point right now because many of us have not realized that we already moved to the higher dimensions. And I know that people will say, and I'm not judging because everybody's at their own level. They will say, no, you have to go from first density, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You can't skip around. I'm going to help expand the mind on that. For those of us who came in from other places, please understand, you already made it past the sixth dimension. The sixth dimension that has the creation spark, which means that there's a likelihood you were already out in other places creating other universes. And you either pop back down here because you wanted to help or you needed the experience or you wanted to try out and remember what it felt like to feel pain. Huh. I obviously didn't read the fine print on that soul contract. But for whatever the reason is, and it doesn't necessarily matter, you were chosen to come here now. What's different right at this second is that many, many of us who are in the higher dimensions are actually working on manifestation using our beautiful, loving magic, white magic. And so we, in a sense, kind of needed to be contained. Because here's the scoop. Have you ever watched a little puppy grow? And a little puppy gets up and it thinks that it can just run, 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 run. And it has no idea how big that tail is. And all of a sudden it gets excited. And what happens? That tail goes bloop, bloop, bloop. And the dog, literally, the puppy just falls over flat. Because it didn't realize how big its tail was. Because it hadn't grown into its tail yet. That's where those of us who already popped into the higher dimensions are. We now have that tail that can wag us, but we don't know how to use it. Therefore, we kind of had to be a little bit contained because we will not, under any circumstances, create the collective sickness that was on 3D Earth evil. We will never bring that into our sphere again. And this is the reason why we've had to kind of just jump past, move beyond, so that we can start to understand what our powers are. Go back and listen to my video on telekinesis, because what we need to do, it's like we are creating now. Think you have the God spark. You can create and manifest anything. But oh, you haven't tried it out yet, so you don't really realize how powerful you are. And what's happening is, if you don't realize how powerful you are and you set the attention, "Oh, I don't like what that person said," what are you doing? You are literally sending a vibration out to the universe. So every intention, everything that you are looking at, pull it in. Think about it. Be careful about those things that you are thinking and who you choose to be around and what it is that you're manifesting, because you are now a manifesting toroidal light body machine. And the beauty is you're choosing which universe you're in. You're choosing, in a sense, which earth you're living on and which experiences you're popping down to still complete. So yes, so much of this is happening at night when you're sleeping or when you're meditating or when you're relaxing or dreaming, using your imagination. Any of those things, they're all happening and they're all getting pulled together. But realize, we can't have a whole bunch of puppies with their tails wagging, not realizing what their power is, because who knows what we would unleash. So it is vitally important right now, as our blueprints are being upgraded, we're getting downloaded, and as we are creating, we are the co-creators. We are creating our new lives, our new desires, how it is we will spend our time, even there is no such thing as time, how we let go of all the slave mentality, how we pull in our sovereign beings, how we build our angel wings, how we build our energetic fields. So your intentions matter. Think very carefully about what it is you're pulling in. In the old days, when you used to say, "Oh, I'm going to say it and then I'm going to reverse it. Oh, I have pain here. This is done, or I'm tired." No, 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 no. Your new statement to yourself is, "Oh, I'm so proud of you, light body and physical body. We no longer have to deal with that. Oh, that's not in my realm. That's not in my universe. That's not in the world that I'm creating." Now, some people get afraid of this because it's like change. And change is very threatening to the ego. Change is very threatening to the 3D old world that you were programmed in. Change is very threatening to anyone who needs control over someone else. Change can be threatening to yourself because you need to control yourself. You see? So, this is why it's so important that we live in a time where it's okay not to know what's happening. It's okay to let it go. It's okay to let universe point you in a direction. And you know what? Sometimes that direction is something you try out and you're like, uh-oh, that tells me I'm never going there again. But be very clear, if you are listening to this, you most likely are already in that higher dimension. Your toroidal field is being grown further and further. They had me sit down and draw a picture, and the first picture that I drew looked like kind of a scarab, if you know about ancient Egypt or anything like that. And I couldn't figure out why I drew a scarab. And then a few days later, oh, I'm looking at it right now. I just saw more. Head south on the left, north on the right. It was the way magnetic energy works, and it's funny. It actually spells sun the way that I drew it. I didn't see that, and then I did look up the definition of scarab just to clarify. And sure enough, wouldn't you know, the words manifestation. Ah, synchronicity, don't you love it? The other picture I had drawn, which was I was trying to figure out how to explain how we're able to do all this quantum healing, have these massive energy healings, and even quantum physics recognizes the Torus energy pattern. So if you draw out, remember, all of this toroidal field comes from the heart. This does not come from the head. This does not come from the mind. This does not come from ego. This comes from the heart. This power comes from the heart that's connected to source, which is everything. You are creator gods. So the fact is, with this toroidal energy pattern, it is not only doing like another picture I drew, which turned out coming from the heart. I was drawing all of these lines around, and when I looked at it, it ended up looking like an apple sliced in half. But the point is, what they were showing me is that this toroidal field is now extending, not only lengthwise, like it used to be, I don't know, 5 feet, and then it went to 17 feet, and now it's dimensional. So what's happening is when you feel that heart tugging and that pulling, that heart tugging going forward and going back, sometimes to the left, sometimes to the right of you, these are new dimensional sections that you are being pulled in and up to, so that you are able to have even more light body than you've ever had before. And this expansion, like I always say, expand, don't try to fit in. This expansion is what is clearing the way for so many new things. So, for those who felt or are listening to doomsday theories, lack of anything, food, water, anything, those who are still trapped in things that may be being sprayed or going on, please understand that try to figure out which dimension and earth you're on, but also understand that if you are popping in, you are bringing higher dimensional energy. What happens with higher dimensional energy? The grass around you is going to be refertilized. What you grow will have higher energy. Water will be cleared. So go out and use your power. Put your feet in the water and love on it and say, I'm extending my love. However it is that you do it, don't worry how wild or crazy you may look. the more you play, the more you hold the vibrations of joy and enlightenment, the further your energetic field goes. And you know what? The more fun it is. And this is how we become the healers. We heal ourselves and we automatically heal other people. And I'm talking split-second healings if the person can let go. If they let go, nothing can stop spontaneous healings through the quantum fields. And many of us haven't acknowledged the fact that because we're not even in the lower dimensions, we no longer need any of this other stuff. We no longer need to experience it. I surrender to never having pain ever again. I surrender to never dying. You heard in one of my videos. Build that toroidal field. Build your light body. It is what will transport and transfigure. It's been spoken about. It's your turn. You can do it. But what do you have to do? You have to use your free will to choose it. You have to accept that it's okay not to understand how everything fits in, where this is on which planet, whatever, and simply go back inside to yourself to say, wow, what do I really find joy in? How am I going to spend my time? Ooh, everything is provided for me. What am I going to do? And start doing it. This is our throat chakra time. Actually, octave, but I use throat because that's what people understand. Start to tell the truth. Put yourself out there. We have been in caves for so many years. And it was good because we each needed to do our own work. But now, when you step out your front door, or your truck, or your car, or if you're homeless, wherever you may be, look at the world differently and realize you're pulling in a whole new one. What is it that you really want to see? I hope this has helped. Always wanting to give a new perspective, understanding that different people are in different situations, and each one grows and hears these messages when they're ready. I have a bunch of other messages that are coming they have dual purposes. One, for the teachers and healers that I know are here, bringing in their ascended masters, so that they can learn about ways in which to help others on this journey step up and through. And also for other people who are newer, who need just a little bit more of the quote Earth 3D world to move them up through the dimensions. No one can ever tell you what dimension you are on. You choose it. Technically, you chose it before you arrived. And remember, of billions and trillions and who knows how many, you were chosen to be here now. And I'm so happy you did. Love you.